is going on, everybody? How's everybody's weekend? Hope it was good. Yeah, I finished Bad Dog. Man, what a fantastic book. Very pleased. Can't recommend it enough. Victory sip. If you haven't read it yet, what are you doing, you silly gooses? Get to it. I know there's usually a few people in the chat that have read it, or at least one. So there you go. But tonight we're going to be talking about pages 266 all the way to the end of this glorious, glorious title. So that being said, let me pull up my notes. And then this obviously is the last Monday night stream for this book. Next Monday night, I'm not going to have a stream because Ashley Pollard, the author, is in the UK, so she can't come on Monday night because the time difference is too much. So she's going to be on the Sunday before, so this coming Sunday at 7 a.m. Pacific, which is my time. But I need to, I keep looking over here at my laptop, and I move my camera to a different spot. Now it's over here, and I feel like my eyesight's all over the place. But anyway, yeah, author coming on next Sunday morning, 7 a.m. Pacific, and then I'm starting the Transmutation Texas, or Texas Transmutation. I can't remember which way it goes, but book 1 of the Watcher of the Dam series by R.H. Snow. She's going to be on for the book club, as far as I know, the whole time. Maybe not every Monday, but I think she's going to be on a lot of the Mondays. And then another author whose name I can't remember off the top of my head, and a third person, also don't know their name. Forgot it. I mean, I don't know their real name anyway. It's their X handle. But yeah, that person's coming on. So we're going to have 3 guests for the next book. And the other author, not R.H. Snow, but the other author, I don't know how frequently they're going to be on. So basically, if they're free on a Monday night, they'll come hop on. So, and it's muggy today. So I film in my garage, and I'm all sweaty. So sorry about that. Not much I can do about it. I don't feel like running AC out to the garage. That'd be cool, though. Where are my notes? Here are my notes. Okay, so page 266 starts off. Oh, I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom here. Chapter 38. So this is the POV of Sergeant Laura Tachikoma, Confederated States Marine Corps. So she wakes up again. So the last chapter, chapter 37, ended with them in the cavern with all the pillars, or with the pillars, just the 2. And they set an ambush for the Chinese coming in with the nuke. They ambush the Chinese, kill them. She doesn't know yet that the bomb is rigged to one of the Chinese pilot's suits to his vital. So if he dies, the nuke automatically detonates. Let me see here. John A. Douglas, hail and good evening to you, sir. Good to see you. I see you went viral. That's pretty cool, man. Take a little stroll on Target, become an internet sensation. That's dope. I'm digging it. But yeah, anyway. So she, her squad kills the Chinese, activates the bomb. She doesn't know that that's why it blew up. She thinks that maybe something's wrong with the bomb. Because normally they're not designed to blow up if they get damaged, I guess, from getting shot. This one did. So she's like, okay, maybe there's something wrong with the bomb, right? So that's what caused it. So again, she goes through the day. Everything's repeated. I think she ends up, by the time she finishes, I'm not going to keep track of which day is what. I think by the time she actually, spoilers, makes it through and doesn't die, it's like the 12th time she's done the day. So yeah, she's done it quite a bit of times. Let's see here. So then, boom, she goes in for the next try. Pretty much the same situation, slight differences because like it's probably hard to keep track of all the exact things that she did the previous try, and this being like the, I don't know, at this point probably like the 9th day or whatever. It's probably hard to keep track of what's what. But anyway, gets there, sets up the ambush again for the Chinese. This time, she tells them to hold their fire, and when the pillars activate, everyone freezes except for her, because at this point we've established that there's something unique about her physiology that makes it so she's not affected by the pillars. So anyway, everybody freezes, including the 2 Chinese pilots. She takes a super careful aim, double taps them both. Boom, boom, boom. She dies. Bomb goes off. So now she's like, okay, there must be a failsafe in the bomb. So again, she repeats the day. And let's see, this time I think they just let the Chinese leave. Like they don't engage them at all. And they basically drag the bomb. They put it halfway between the pillars so that when it activates, the pillars will, the gateway will, or no, they wait till it activates. She pulls it through. So it's like half in our world, half in whatever world the gate goes to. And when the gate closes, it cuts the bomb in half and it explodes. So again, this bomb is like super rigged with a lot of fail safes to go off if it is tampered with. Which she even kind of comments on, like, who is crazy enough to put that kind of a fail safe in a nuclear warhead? Burn enough. What's going on? Greetings, dude. This is the last section of the book. We've hit the end. Yeah, so boom, she dies there. So she tries again. Same thing, let the Chinese go out. And at this point, like, the pacing for the book in this chapter speeds up a lot because she's basically repeating all the same steps. The thing she's trying to do differently is at the end right there with the bomb. So yeah, it's a lot of summary versus scene for this chapter, getting up to the point where she actually hits the plan or whatever that leads to success. So next try, same thing. Chinese leave, waits for the portal to open. This time she drags the bomb all the way through the portal. She comes back out onto the Earth side. It closes, and it takes a little bit, but eventually the bomb goes off. Is that what it goes? I can't remember the instant when the portal closes. I think it might take some time. Either way, the bomb goes off, destroys the pillars on whatever world it got left on, and boom, she repeats the day. Fuck, I can't remember now. Did she actually make it back and go to sleep? I don't remember. I'm actually drawing a blank on that. Through, yes. They don't. Oh, okay, so yeah, so she doesn't die. They don't die on that one, obviously, but she still repeats this. So maybe she makes it to go to sleep. I don't remember. Then this time she wakes up. She's feeling like she's seeing double, almost like she's seeing two different timelines at once. So this day is just a trip day. She doesn't leave the ship. She goes and sees medical, has the doc look at her, give her some medication, doing some. She does the weird magnetic test again, which I guess eases. I think it's the seeing the two, the two timelines eases that problem away. And then again when she goes to the infirmary, or whatever, she sees Mr. Anderson again, the CIA agent, and she messes with him with the whole red slippers code word. Yeah, sorry, I had McDonald's for dinner. But anyway, yeah, and then she goes to sleep, and same thing, day repeats, because obviously the Chinese were successful in their mission of destroying the pillar. So this brings us to the last day, which we don't know it's the last day, but it's the last day, and it's what the chapter ends on. Oh, sorry, man. I really need to stop eating dairy. It messes with me. So on this last day, her squad, they use the fact that they are way ahead of schedule from like day one. Day one, they landed in a bad spot. It took them forever even to get to the caverns, right? So now and then there's the whole ambush that she's already aware of. So they're way ahead of schedule from the first day. They're at the caverns. They're at the pillars before the Chinese have even taken possession of the nuke. Now with the nuke, the failsafe for it auto detonating as soon as the Chinese pilot dies, that doesn't take effect until he's taken possession. So while the bomb's still en route, that's not there. So they can kill the Chinese if they do it before the bomb shows up. Basically, yeah, they get to the cavern, and her new plan is like, okay, I've tried everything I can think of as far as killing the Chinese here. She's like, okay, let's go up because there's two, in the cavern, there's two tunnels. The one she came in and her squad, and then the one that the Chinese came in with the bomb. So they take that tunnel, and it takes them out to another side of the mountain, and they can see down. They see two Chinese fatties just chilling, and then they can see a truck, which they don't know what's on the truck yet, but she does. There's a truck heading their way. So she basically calls out to her squad. They kill the two fatties, send I don't remember the size of the round, but basically disable the truck with one round through the front end, kills the crew driving it. They go out, they secure the warhead. send the sit rep to the rest of the Marines, the rest of the company. And yeah, at that point, they try to get hunkered down and ready for more Chinese to come out of the tunnel after them, because there's more Chinese in the mountain. But that's basically where that mission or that chapter ends. She's just waiting. She sends out the sit rep, lets everybody know the situation, and yeah, she waits for her other squads to come to her position. So that's where that chapter ends. Let's see here. A couple of things with this chapter. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this one. There's a lot of tries, a lot of attempts. We see that when she's flying in the chickens, right, in the Thunderhawks, on the way to the objective, and she's just chilling in her, basically whenever she has downtime, not just then when she's en route to the LZ. She's studying a lot of things that have to do with like multiverses, trying to kind of give her I think like a different kind of edge in this dilemma that she finds herself in, which is pretty cool, because like, yeah, obviously you gotta there's the whole battle aspect of this issue, but for her especially, there's the multiple timelines, there's the time, there's fate, destiny, whatever you want to call it, the cosmos, quantum mechanics. I don't know, I'm not a scientist, but anyway, she's like kind of trying to study that to see if knowledge of that subject can kind of maybe give her an edge and help her find a way to not repeat this day again, which I like that little touch. As we see from her her putting the bomb through the portal all the way, and it's still resetting the day. It seems like she's connected to all the pillars, not just the one on Earth or in Afghanistan. And it makes me wonder, are these pillars sentient? And have they basically, like, maybe they knew that this bomb was coming and it was going to blow up this set of pillars. And so maybe they trapped her knowing that she has this rare genetic condition that allows her to actually use the gates, because everyone else freezes. They can't use the gates. But she doesn't freeze, so she can go through the gate. Hence Gatewalker. The fact that it's called Gatewalkers, and there's and she mentions this in whatever chapter it's in. I think it's her next one, where the pace suit, the army pace suit, or whatever. I think it's more. Yeah, it's like a power armor versus like an actual mech, I believe. But anyway, since he's like that suit is halfway in, halfway out, it implies that that person was able to walk forward into the gate and got cut in half, not realizing what was going to happen. But she's like, oh, there's another person like me. I'm not the only one. So Gatewalkers. Where am I at here? Yeah, okay. So she's connected to the pillars. It makes me wonder, are they sentient? And so they trapped her so they won't be destroyed. And she kind of talks about this a little bit with a concept called compossibility. I have no idea what that is. So I'm just going to read the passage, page 267. All this stuff I find very interesting. And there's like I think it's an afterword, where Ashley kind of credits the scholars, doctors, whatever that she talked to. They kind of give her the nuts and bolts of, these theories. So I always like, seeing like the research that the authors do and how that comes out in the book. But anyway, this guy talked about this world being the best possible one, not because of what happens, but because it's where no person's existence contradicts the existence of another. He calls this compossibility, and I wonder whether this is what's happening to me. Perhaps the pillars are causing me to live through all the different possible outcomes, forcing me to repeat this day until I find one where we can both exist. In the process, the pillars have become the most impressive memento mori the world has ever known. So yeah, I'm I really wonder if the pillars trapped her, knowing that they were going to get destroyed, and they're using her to make it so they don't lose a set. And obviously there's a ton of sets of pillars, even just on our planet. So I don't know what happens if one set gets destroyed. But there seems to be a lot of interconnectivity between them all. So I don't know. I don't know how that works. Maybe it's just one set and it's some weird space-time thing where this one set of pillars shows up in a bunch of different places. I have no idea. That is above my pay grade. Let's see here. Yes, and this chapter with like how many, especially just at the end here, how many different attempts she had to make to figure out how to deal with this bomb. It made me think about Captain, I think probably is his equivalent rank, the OIC of the Chinese company. I liked how methodical and calculating Louis is. All of his plans and his contingencies have essentially been the reason that it has taken Tachikoma so many times to make it through like this day, right? So I don't know. I feel like his character and his way of thinking and approaching battle and approaching his mission was a really good way of setting up or explaining, I guess, why it's so hard, like why Laura's having such a hard time and it's not easy. And it's not just like the first time we see him when he's like running ideas past his officers and he's trying to make them think outside the box. There's other chapters where he's talking about all the contingencies that he's thought of so that they can kind of be prepared for whatever might get thrown at them. I feel like it really helps to flesh out why exactly it was so hard for her to get through this. So, yeah. But again, that was it for him. Never mind. Jumping ahead here. So yeah, let's go to chapter 39 then. There's a lot of short chapters that follow Laura's. As I said, most of the time when it's not her chapter, they're usually pretty short. And I've talked about that in other streams, so I'm not going to get too much in the weeds on that. But we're in Captain Johansson's POV on chapter 39. They're moving through the tunnels. It comes to a point, they split up as they hit a like fork in the road or whatever. It basically, for me, like what this chapter does is like we had a pretty fast-paced chapter with Laura, right? We had a lot of even before that chapter, it was still Laura, and that was like the day that they got to the pillars and killed the Chinese the first time. That was drawn out, and then the next chapter was just a bunch of her attempts to get through that cavern, and I don't know. It was very like focused on her. All the gross noises. My kids are all sick, and I'm getting sick, and it is what it is. But yeah, it just like that last one with Laura. It spanned multiple days, so I feel like the pace was kind of fast. It was like just going through it, and then we shift over to these really short. Yeah, they're short, but I feel like it slows the pace down a little bit because like with Johansson, he's literally just going through the tunnels, comes to a fork in the road. Okay, let's split up, and I think he hears like people. I think he hears that. Which day is it? I don't remember. Somebody died. I can't remember. I think Knight ends up dying and McCarthy ends up living. Anyway, it's a lot slower. Other than that, like I don't really know. Like I'll explain it later when I get further along. But anyway, yeah, I feel like it just helps change the pace a little bit. Chapter 40. This is just Perez, his point of view. He comes across as a motard doucher, and he dies. So, don't be a doucher. Chapter 41 goes to Beckford's squad. Basically, with all these little chapters showing different POVs from the different squads in the company, we kind of like I feel like the purpose, other than to kind of, and maybe the purpose isn't to change the pacing. I just feel like it kind of did. But I also feel like the purpose is to let us see what the outcomes of Tachikoma's plan are throughout the rest of the company, not just how for her, like how's it work? Because usually we don't. I mean, not usually, but she's done it so many times. We haven't seen how it's, especially with this last set of days where she's actually getting to the end. We haven't seen how it's affected the rest of the company. And usually we can just kind of infer that they die because the bomb goes off. So with this time, with the bomb not going off and her plan probably being the best that it can possibly be, having done this 12 times, we get to see how everyone actually ends up faring on the final day. Perez does not make the cut. A few people die here and there. Jackson, I believe he dies in Tachikoma's crew. Gentle from Johansson's crew. I think Perez's whole squad gets wiped out. Sorry, there's so many characters. Like, I kind of mix them around a little bit. Beckford's crew. I think they all make it because they hitch a ride on the mule. Like they upload the aircraft or unload the aircraft onto the aircraft mule, and then they hitch a ride to it. And then after they leave, that's when the artillery hits. So, I don't think anyone in Beckford's crew died. Anyway, we go to chapter 42, page 292. I made a note that I wanted to read something. I'm excited to have guests on, because doing this by myself, I feel like I'm just doing like a recap and like a self-review rather than a book club. And I know I've said that before, but it's going to be really nice to actually have guests on. You know what I'm saying? Dude, I can't believe it's not even that hot out. It's muggy today, but I'm sweating so much. Summertime is going to be brutal for me on this channel. I got to figure something out. I got to get a little AC unit put in my window or something. But then I'm worried that it's going to make too much noise, and you're going to be able to hear it on the microphone. But I don't know. I'm not a video sound guy or whatever, so I don't know. Let me move this out of the way. Oh, excuse me. That was gross. What did I say? 292? Paragraph 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so she's kind of, I don't know. She's like, I think she's dreaming. She's like seeing multiple timelines again. This is what she has to say about it. These are not fragments of my life, but different lives, different me's, in different universes. All of my lives are happening at once. This isn't one day repeating itself, but my mind coping with trying to understand that I'm living all the days of my life simultaneously. Bro, I don't even know, like, that's way over my head, dude. I'm not that smart, but that sounds pretty cool. Other than, like, I'm gonna get the gist of it, like, however the magic's working or the science, like, all the different timelines, somehow she's, like, shifting into the different positions after each time she dies, I guess, but beyond that, I can't really comment too much. But a cool concept, nonetheless. But anyway, as they're waiting out there, they end up getting rushed by fatties, and they kind of see him coming out, and they, like, send a couple pop shots, trying to, like, keep them back, because they're trying to buy time, because the rest of their squads are coming to reinforce them and to take control of this nuke. So, so she's like, they're trying to, like, fire in pot shots here and there, trying to, like, keep the Chinese in the tunnel. They don't want the Chinese to know that there's only 3 or 4 Marines out there right now, because the Chinese that are in that tunnel greatly, I think it's like 15 to 4, something like that. I might be off a little bit on the numbers, but anyway, eventually the Chinese come out, and they, the Marines take out the first couple, but eventually the Chinese realize that there's only a few out there, and they just come pouring out. And the fatties are actually, as slow as they are on the ground, they are fast flyers, and very maneuverable. And even for the dogs, like advanced targeting systems, they're still hard to hit when they're flying. So, it's an intense firefight. Jackson dies, as I said. I think by the end, 2 of Tachikoma's crew are still standing. They're not all dead, but only 2 are still, like, up on their feet. I don't remember which one lost their leg and was, like, on the ground. I think he was still firing, though, even when he was on the ground. They ended up popping smoke, chucking grenades, and, like, as they felt like they're about to lose hope, Beckford's crew comes over the ridgeline. It starts sending missiles in there and taking out a bunch of... Basically, they don't kill all the Chinese. They take out enough of the fatties that the Chinese retreat. And it's kind of a cool, characterization for Tachikoma, because, like, even though there's a point where she's even like, I just want to kill people because I'm so pissed that I'm stuck in this situation. And she's like, especially want to kill the Chinese. She hates the Chinese. She has a buttload of reasons to hate the Chinese. Literally watched them kill her friends, 11 times. Or if she didn't watch it, she at least knows that they killed her friends. I guess 10 times. But yeah, no, I guess 12 times because they still died even when she succeeds and finishes the day, she still loses some people. So yeah, I guess all 12 days, the Chinese have killed their friends. But as she sees them retreating, she's like, I don't. She basically is like, I don't want to like kill someone who has given up and is retreating. So she has like this moral compass, honorable demeanor in victory. Good sport, I guess you could call it. But yeah, I don't know. I liked it, man. She's a cool character. Just your badass Marine with a sense of honor. So yeah, Beckford comes in. Her squad kind of saves the day. Then the rest of the squads line up. They get the order from the Hornet to secure the mountain until they can be evac'd out. And the Air Force is going to come in, bomb the mountain to seal off all the entrances so that nobody can gain access to these pillars, which is interesting because that's kind of what the Chinese and the Afghans were trying to do the whole time. It's kind of, I guess, a little bit of irony there. So yeah, Beckford comes in, saves her. They get that order to lock it down. So they set up camp, set up perimeter. She falls asleep in her cockpit wakes up on a Friday. So she's like, okay, I made it, great. And then eventually, yeah, she makes it back. They get evac'd out on the Thunderhawks, head back to the Hornet, and the Air Force comes in, bombs the shit out of the mountain. So there you go. We're getting near the end. Not many more chapters left. Chapter 43, another real short one. This is Louis' POV. Louis, the Chinese officer. He was in that last skirmish, and he lived. He's the one that called to retreat. When he thought he was about to win, called to retreat when Beckford showed up and started wiping out his guys. And even though, like, I feel like the biggest takeaway I got from this chapter, other than just it being another POV of this situation, giving us like a 360-degree view, from him, I got this like sense of peace, knowing that no matter what, he's probably gonna die. And where the sense of peace comes, in my opinion, is because he says, he's like, I don't really have a choice here. It's either I do nothing and die, or I do something and die. And I feel like for him, because he's so methodical, he's so calculating, that after all of the planning and the contemplating and the worrying, there's like this sense of release for him, as all he really has to do is take action. Like, that's it. He just has to act. There's no thinking, there's no plan, and there's no worry. God, I really gotta move this over here. But yeah, essentially, they failed. I mean, technically they didn't, because even the Americans ended up stealing off the tunnels. But to him, they failed, and the cost in his men's, like the cost of life from his men, really made it seem like a failure to him. What's up, Hammertron? Yeah. And then chapter 44. This is Anderson, another short one. This is the first time from his POV, at least after the Marines have gone in to go retrieve the army unit. This is the first one of his POVs where he's not shitting his pants because things are going so terribly. Yeah, like things aren't going according to plan. But at least in this situation, what the hell? Yeah, Hammertron, for some reason, this live stream says Tony Deeger, I already forgot how to say his last name. I don't know what the deal is. It's, I tried to change it before I actually hit go live, and I don't know why, but Streamlabs seems to want to broadcast that my last stream is the stream I'm currently on. So I got to figure out what's going on. Maybe I'll give Streamlabs a call or do some Googling. But yeah. Where's that at? Oh yeah. So Anderson, yeah, he's finally not seen everybody die. He's not seen a nuke go off, so he's not shitting his pants. Things didn't go great, but Marines still died, and that sucks. But because of Tachikoma, the Marines are still in control of the situation, which means that America is still in control of the situation. So yeah, that's pretty good for him, because if things would have gone bad the way they have gone, he knows that he absolutely would have taken the fall for the mission failing, despite him operating on all the intelligence that he was given. So, and we learn in this chapter, that no American has died in combat in 20 years. So this is still a very significant skirmish, operation, whatever. Oh, what? Didn't even activate that? Okay. My bad, man. Okay, I got to figure that out. You were on the other live stream just sitting there waiting. That's annoying, because I literally went and I put it in my schedule, and I make the thumbnail for it in the description, and then I go into the schedule, click on that, and I click go live. And for some reason, Streamlabs just creates a whole new stream with an old thumbnail and an old description and an old title for some reason. I don't know why they do that. I got to figure that out. But yeah, so even though only a few Marines died, it's the first military casualty in combat in 20 years. So he's still probably going to hear about that. But yeah, even though the operation, everything that they've discovered is going to be classified above top secret, I don't know if necessarily the deaths themselves are going to be considered top secret. Like, I don't know if the press is going to be informed about it. I mean, I'm sure the families will. So actually, I don't know how that works. If you die on maybe they just tell your family that you died some other way. Chapter 45, we go to Yusuf, the Afghani warlord. And from their perspective, they can see the Americans come out, kill the Chinese, take control of the bomb. They're kind of cursing the Chinese for telling them or convincing them to use all of their artillery rounds on the initial strike against the Marines, because now they can't do anything. They can't shoot anything at the Americans as they take possession of this nuke. So they're kind of just sitting there, twiddling their thumbs, watching the Americans beat the Chinese, send Louis and his boys running. But as they sit there and they watch, they see America come in with their Air Force bombers and seal off the entrances. So he says it like, we didn't win today, but we didn't lose. So basically they got what they wanted. Nobody, because they didn't want the Chinese, the Afghanis didn't want the Chinese having access to the pillars either. So they basically got what they wanted. They didn't do it the way they wanted to do it, but the outcome was what they wanted. So works out good for them. And you can see they're so committed to keeping people away from these pillars and not releasing the Ifrit, that basically he's willing to work with other Afghan warlords in order to keep any foreigners away from this mountain. So yeah. Yeah, I just hold like a lot of irony around how this ended for me, because it's so the Chinese didn't want the Americans to get it, and the Americans end up making it so the Chinese don't get it, and in so doing deny themselves it, and the Chinese also didn't want anyone to know that the Chinese were involved, so their plan was to wipe everybody out and leave no witnesses for America to know what happened. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that was kind of, I know they didn't want their involvement to be known. So definitely is known now. So who knows how that's going to unfold in the future. But yeah, I don't know. It's really funny how it kind of twisted around there at the end, if America sealing it off. And that was China and Afghanistan's, that was their whole purpose in trying to kill all these Marines, is they didn't want the Americans. Well, the Afghans didn't want anybody, but basically they're trying to deny access, to the point where the Chinese literally destroyed the pillar with a nuke. It's just a funny twist. Yeah, I like it. Chapter 46. Back to Laura. So these are the last two chapters, and they're both Laura. But this one, Laura, she's on the chicken. She's on the Thunderhawk. Returns. She sees the Hornet, and she's like, "Oh, it's a beautiful ship." She's sitting there, kind of marveling at the beauty of it, right? And obviously, it's probably more than just it being a cool looking ship. It's the fact that she actually made it through the day, and the time's unfrozen now, and she's going to be able to continue on with her life. But yeah, she lands. And she goes for a shit shower and shave. She's got like an hour before she's got to go to the debrief. And for her part in the debrief, she likes to bring attention to the fact that, like, from her dog, she kind of like, she has like surveillance. So she shows people that she was on an alien planet, right? There's like 2 moons and stuff. And, her Marines are like, that's impossible. But Anderson's like, nah, obviously it is. And her suit proves it. So, and then he finishes off the brief with, oh yeah, by the way, everything in here is classified above top secret. So, yeah, don't say anything. Then she's told to write an after action report and send it to the colonel and come be in his office after that. So she does that. She puts in the code word that Anderson told her to do, like on day 4 or 5 or whatever day it was. Red slippers, red slippers, red slippers. She puts it in there 3 times. And she goes in and they're like, what the hell? And she didn't put in the after action report, like all the time loop stuff. It wasn't until she came in the meeting that she's like, yep, this is the 12th day, the 12th time I've lived this day. It's crazy. Anderson believes her super fast. Yeah. And she speculates and says that she believes that she is linked to the pillars. She tells the colonel the truth. Yeah, and when Anderson, he's like I said, he's quick to believe her, but he does so without divulging any classified information. Yeah, and for Laura, I feel like it's just like a nice, vindicating moment for her. Because, I'm getting tired, I lost my train of thought. Well, one, as now she gets to look forward to her officer training, which normally, like in the beginning of the book, she was not looking forward. She did not want to be an officer. Now she's kind of looking forward to it. So, I think that has to do with the fact that maybe she's come to grips with it and also just glad to be like going forward, like I said. But also probably feels good to actually come out and tell everyone, at least like the colonel, I think her Captain Johansson was there, and she already knew that Miss Anderson was probably going to believe her because that's like the 3rd time she's told him now. But yeah, it's probably just nice to know that she said this crazy thing and did so in a way that, everyone believes her, and she is not considered crazy and not going to be kicked out of the Marines for mental distress. Then we go to, and that's basically the end of that chapter. Book ends chapter 47. I don't know. It's a nice wrap up, short and sweet. They're like at a barbecue on the back of the ship. And they kind of celebrating. They're kind of mourning the fallen. They lost a few Marines in the operation. And Tachikoma and Anderson are kind of BS. I mean, she BS's with like her other sergeants and stuff like that. But then chapter ends out with her and Anderson chit-chatting. And even though he can't comment, Tachikoma basically gleans the information that these are not the only pillars on Earth. Anderson kind of tells her about his dream to be an astronaut, and he wanted to go on to like other worlds or whatever. And life got in the way, and that didn't work out. But now through the CIA, he might actually still get the chance to do that. So, it seems, she's like, there's definitely more pillars out there. Dun, 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 dun. Hammertron asks, the CIA knew about the pillars and the gateway, so they knew. There's like earlier chapter in the book where it's like the CIA and a couple other intelligence agencies and a general, I think he's the Army. They're like talking about it, and there's this one scientist, like they all have like I don't know, I think DIA, they have like a spy embedded with the Chinese, and that guy had he got them a video of a Chinese scientist testing the pillars at some place in some location in China. So there's pillars in China that the Chinese are using, and now America knows about that, at least in this intelligence community. And another person was like a doctor. I cannot remember what organization she was with, but she was like funded alongside the Air Force. I can't remember. Anyway, she by far in that group knew the most about the pillars, and like I can't remember what state it was. But anyway, I think it's Washington. We have pillars in America, on American soil. There's also another set of pillars. And then basically the way they found the pillars in Afghanistan was this magnetic pulse. And like it's the year 2071. And I guess there's like these massive earthquakes that like wrecked like a lot of the world. So people are like very cognizant of anything going on underground. So they detected this magnetic pulse, and that kind of led them to discover these pillars. I don't know. They might think that there's a cause. They might think that the pillars can be used to help detect earthquakes or to be used for, military applications. So anyway, they detect that pulse that matches like the energy of the other pillars that they know about in Afghanistan, and the Chinese find out. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on there, but I don't remember it off the top of my head. But yeah, the CIA definitely knows. They know that the pillars lead to other worlds and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't think they know about the fact that there's some people like Tachikoma that don't freeze, and that they have the ability to basically like touch the pillars and repeat a day. I mean, granted, that only happened because the pillars there got destroyed. So, yeah, that's actually leaves room for more stories. That's one of my notes. Yeah. So anyway, Tachikoma and Anderson kind of exchange information, addresses, whatever. Agree to meet up later. She's excited to go to officer training, even though she never used to be. So it's a cool little character arc there. But yeah, it could definitely stand like all by itself. Like this could be a standalone novel, even though it's not. We know it's not. But it definitely leaves the story open for more. So I don't know. I don't know if she like pitched it as like, I have this idea too. I'm like, my face is so red. It's so hot out here. I don't know if Ashley pitched it as like, oh, I have this idea for a story. You can publish. I've heard people do this as writers. You can publish it as a single standalone, and if it's, if it does well, it can be turned into a series. I don't know, but it definitely could be. It would be good as a standalone. But I'm excited for more. But yeah, that is Bad Dog by Ashley Pollard. I'm super pissed. I don't know why Streamlabs is not working and is basically showing the wrong stream. Are you on YouTube, Hammertron? Are you? Yeah, you're on YouTube. You can see from your comment. Duh. It started doing this when I upgraded to premium or whatever they call it. Is that what they call it in this? I don't know. Ultra maybe, I think is what it's called. But anyway, I upgraded to the paid subscription, and it's supposed to not supposed to. It allows me to stream to multiple platforms, so I streamed to X as well. And that's when it started, acting funny and posting the wrong thing. So I got to figure something out, because I don't know why I'm paying all this money to have it not work right. But yeah, that's all I got, guys. Like I said, no stream next Monday night. Next Sunday morning, Ashley's going to be on Sunday at 7 a.m. She'll be on the stream because she's in the UK. So accommodating her time zone. And then the Monday after that, I will be starting Watcher of the Dam Book 1, Transmutation Texas, or Texas Transmutation. I can't remember. Anyway, R.H. Snow, the author, is going to be on the stream, I think, for the whole time we're reading the book. And then two other people, another one is also an author. So the third person might be as well. Well, the red slippers thing, I think it's just like a code word. I don't necessarily know that it pertains exactly to that happening. But it's just like, I don't know. It's just like, yeah, I know some secret stuff or whatever. Red slippers. I don't know. He didn't say it, but, he can't say. And, like, when he was in the intelligence meeting, when, like, everybody there knew everything, right? It was all on the table. Nobody mentioned that. And it sounds like what happened to her is probably going to be new information for that intelligence roundtable. So I don't think that they know, but you know, I don't think that they're necessarily going to be too narrow-minded or too hard to convince that what she said was a dream. I mean, obviously, Mr. Anderson, he believed pretty easy. Didn't take him much. I mean, they know that they go to other worlds and do crazy things. So, you know, who knows exactly how the universe works, right? But yeah, you guys have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, next time I got a book thing on here. Yeah, I've got viewers. I think I get more viewers on X than I do on YouTube because I don't really know how to separate this. I have 22 viewers right now. And usually on YouTube, I think for these live streams, at least when it's just me, and when I have guests, it depends on who the guest is. I'll get more, I was trying to thought, more viewers. But yeah, on this one right now with X, I've got about 22 viewers, which is more than I usually get for just doing YouTube. So I think I get more viewers on X. Yeah, it's because she's in London, or I don't know if London. She's in the UK. So like that's like 3 o'clock her time. But either way, you know, it's people can watch it after the fact. It's not a stream I'll probably, you know, do a lot. I think I have one other author set up for a stream that's in the UK. I'm gonna do the same thing, but not on a Sunday. But yeah. Oh. But anyway, yeah, like I said, I don't know how many times I've said this already, but R.H. Snow, she's going to be on here. 2 other people are going to be on the next book, so hopefully I have some people to talk to, so I'm not just kind of running this by myself. And it'll be more of an actual book club. But yeah, if you haven't picked it up and you want to like participate in the chat with the book club for Watcher of the Dam Book 1 by R.H. Snow, go pick the book up, check it out, and yeah, we'll see you not next Monday, but the Monday after. You guys have a good night. And I'll see you later.